what's up with you? For today's video, with a full Meloetta Forms team. About a year ago, or a little bit more, I actually did this team, but recently, in the last couple of weeks, they did bring out Shiny Meloetta for a Pokemon home reward, so I thought about redoing this team a little while ago. I've only just got around to doing the battles. I'll be using 2 normal Meloettas and 2 of the Pirouette for a team of 4. They can be pretty decent Pokemon, and I had some really good battles for this video. So I got 7 battles, and we got a random battle here to start things off with. I'm not really sure what the trainer's name is, like Smitoon or something like that. I have no idea, but we have a Gengar lead. Now, this is a physical Meloetta, and it's sort of based around trying to get freeze sacks and paralysis on the opponent. Kind of a little bit like my Serene Grace team I just recently did. So we got a Gengar lead. It's going to be using Hypnosis. I'm not really sure what kind of set that it is. Maybe it's like a support sweeping set. I've got no idea. So this is pretty bulky Meloetta. Normal Meloetta has very good special defense. So Gengar doesn't really do a lot of damage. So I'm going to be waking up on this turn with my physical Meloetta and going for an Ice Punch on Dragonite and getting a nice juicy crit and a freeze axe at the same time. So what a wonderful start to the battle there. And the second Ice Punch is going to feint the Dragonite. So this was max attack and max speed. And it was Jolly Nature Lumberry. So this, actually no, this was my Assault Vest set, my bad. So max attack and max speed. And we have Assault Vest, Ice Punch, Quick Attack, Thunder Punch, and Focus Punch. Now, the next Pokemon to come is going to be Hitmonchan, and Hitmonchan is also going to get frozen. So the Thunder move I sort of put on this one was to try and freeze the opponent or paralyze him, and then go for Focus Punch, which looks absolutely hilarious on Meloetta. So we're getting some big damage there, and we finish off Hitmonchan with a Disrespect Quick Attack. Is anyone's favorite Pokemon of all time out there Meloetta? Let me know in the comment section, or you like Meloetta? Tell me about it in the comment section. What do you think of it? If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. All right, we got King Toilet slipping in here. I'm going to be doing a swap because I don't have a lot to use against it, and I don't think Focus Punch is going to work. So I decided to do a swap there, hoping they go for a Sucker Punch, but it didn't work out. So I got rid of one of my Meloetta easily. So the next one is going to be my Relic Song. This is going to be my Relic Song set. We got Close Combat on here as well. This is purely my best set on my team. We've got Relic Song, Close Combat, Ice Punch, and Zen Headbutt for the Meloetta Pirouette set. Unfortunately, since I wasn't in the Pirouette form, it wasn't enough to take out Kingambit. Even though it was a quad weakness there, it still wasn't enough. So they definitely invested everything into health to be able to live that. Next Pokemon I got is my Meloetta. This is my special sweeping set. I actually did a Meloetta sweep with this exact set on my channel. If you do want to check it out, it is there. I'll leave it in the comment section, pinned and stuff. This is a Throat Spray, a Terra Fairy, Alluring Voice set, Hyper Voice, Psychic, and Shadow Ball. I feel this is definitely the best Meloetta set, at least the special sweeping one, and it works rather nicely. So that's also a sound-based move which gets around any substitute and stuff like that, and also has Throat Spray, so it's going to activate that right away. And Fairy's a very good, very good Terra type in general too. So I knew if I went for Terra Fairy straight away, if Gengar would come back in, it would go for Sludge Bomb. So I decided not to do that, and I decided to keep it as a normal and Psychic type, so it couldn't use Shadow Ball or anything like that, or just go for a Sludge Bomb that wouldn't be super effective. So I went for a Psychic. That is going to drop the Gengar. We've got 4 Pokemon down. Things are going pretty nicely. I think that Gengar was like a Hex set, I think. Next Pokemon's going to be Annihilape. I feel this is the best time to go for a Terra now, so for the Terra Fairy, and this is going to be hitting like really hard. So we got that Terra Fairy, we got that big old Luffard, and this is going to hit really hard. Plus, it's going to be good for Annihilape because it's going to resist any of its main stab moves like, Drain Punch, Rage Fist, those sort of things. I don't think they would have gone for Rage Fist, though. I'd say more Drain Punch. So going for Alluring Voice there, and that is going to take Annihilape out in one shot, which is great. So we're beating that sweat at the moment. Taking a little bit of bird damage. Next Pokemon's going to be Iron Hands. I know that I can do serious damage here with either Psychic or Alluring Voice, anything, and I still got one Meloetta in the back, and then the opponent is going to cancel the battle there. So that's the end of the battle. Hope you enjoyed that one, people. Let's get on to battle number 2. Obviously, I would have beaten the Iron Hands there. That's why they, I'd say they were Terra fighting, right? Next Pokemon battle. This one is against Terrence. and we have a Arceus lead. So Arceus is obviously a very good Pokemon, but interesting enough, they swapped out. And they went into Darkrai. So this is going to be my Relic Song Meloetta. We're going to go for a little dance here and go for Relic Song. So pretty good damage there. Relic Song is a special normal type move. And after you use it, that makes Meloetta transform into its Pirouette form, which is interesting. Now, if you do have the Pirouette form and you swap it out, it will revert to a normal Meloetta, just so you know. So we got a Darkrai Terra Darkie. I didn't expect that because Darkrai actually got put to sleep with Relic Song. So it does have the Serene Grace ability, and I outsped it anyway, so that's going to completely destroy it. So essentially they wasted their Terra there, and I guess they underestimated how fast Meloetta would be in its Pirouette form. It's very, very quick. It's like got base 128 speed. Next Pokemon is going to be Palkia. Now, this is pretty interesting. So I swapped out Meloetta, and then I went into my other Meloetta. This is the Assault Vest set, right? So they're going to go for a Focus Miss. It's going to miss, right? So this is the Elemental Punching set. Now, I just remembered I said my EVs wrong for this. This was max speed and max health. So this is all based around getting a Freeze Axe or a Parahax, right? So I didn't want to do too much damage. So I'm going for Ice Punch here against the Palkia. Palkia's going for Focus Miss. It actually lands a couple of them, but it's really not doing a lot of damage to me at all. So I'm really trying to get a Freeze Axe here or just, some general damage. And then the Palkia is going to eat a Citrus Berry. So that's, virtually half the damage I did to it, just got healed there. So now they're continually going for Focus Miss. I was like, okay, they must be choice or something like that. Like, why do they keep going for that? So they eventually got a special defense drop. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. And then Palkia went for a Draco immediately. I'm like, I see what they're trying to do. But with the Assault Vest, I actually managed to live that. This thing has crazy special defense. So still no freeze. And then they went for Hydro Pump and it missed. So they've got a lot of inaccurate moves on Palkia. Palkia finally lands another Hydro Pump. And that is going to be the end of the Meloetta. But man, I almost got it there if it wasn't for the Citrus Berry. Next set is going to be the Meloetta, the Relic Song set. So we're going to go for Relic Song here. And this lands, and it actually lives, but I put the Palkia to sleep. So Relic Song is normally a 10% chance to put the opponent to sleep, but with Serene Grace, that doubles. So it is a 20% chance. So Meloetta has transformed, and now I can go for virtually anything. I don't really want to go for close combat, so I went for Zen Headbutt. I know it was a bit shaky, but I didn't want to have a defense or special defense drop. So that's the end of Palkia. Next Pokemon's going to be Giratina. Now, I do have Ice Punch on this, and I am max attack, but Giratina is very bulky. Like, look how well that took. That was crazy bulky. Now they're going to go for Psychic, which I didn't really expect, and Psychic does pretty good damage to it. It's like a 2-hit KO. So I'm going for Ice Punch, going for a Freeze Axe. Hopefully I get it, and then Giratina eats a berry. So I'm like, oh, that's another berry. So that's 2 Citrus Berries here that my opponent had. Now they're going to go for another Psychic, and that's actually going to be enough to take out my Meloetta. So I'm like, damn, I've only got 2 more Pokemon left. Like, I've got to somehow get back into this game. So we're going into the next Meloetta here. Now, this Meloetta, I decided to go for the Terra. So I thought, this is my Terra Fairy one, as you got to see before. And I thought, if I was them, I would go either for a Dragon type move or maybe a Dark type move. So I decided to go with Terra Fairy because that resisted one, and the other one didn't affect it at all, being Dragon. So Alluring Voice doesn't take out the Giratina, which I expected. That's going to give me a free special attack boost, and now the Giratina is going to go for Draco Meteor, which is not going to affect me at all, which essentially gave me a free turn of setup there, which is really good. So I can follow it up with another Alluring Voice, and that is going to be the end of the Giratina. So we got half the team down, but we still got 3 Pokemon to go. Now, I knew they'd send in their Dialga right away, so I went for Alluring Voice. Great damage there. Now, Dialga has a Citrus Berry as well. I'm like, bro, what is this? That's a 3rd Citrus Berry, so that's another heal here. And Dialga pulls out an Iron Tail. Like, oh, that's the worst move they could have possibly used. So, instead of using Flash Cannon, which I possibly may have badly lived, they used Iron Tail, which one-shot me. So, all I've got left is my Pipnite Special Echoed Voice set. You wouldn't read about it, right? This set was actually really good. So this one was based around Sing. and Blunder Policy and Echoed Voice. It was a really, really fun set. So I've got Max Health and Max Special Attack Modest Nature. Just got hit by a Roar of Time there, by the way. And this has got Substitute and Teeter Dance and Blunder Policy. So with Sing, it's very inaccurate, right? So I thought I could get myself a free speed boost there and retain my bulk. And then followed up with Echoed Voice. So Echoed Voice is going to get exponentially more powerful. So I managed to take out the Dialga there, which is really, really cool. Next Pokemon's going to be Arceus. I'm going for Echo Voice. Great damage. Almost took it out. Then Arceus had a Citrus Berry. I'm like, what is this? That's like, this whole team, do they all have Citrus Berries? Anyway, Arceus has popped the Blizzard, and Blizzard's going to miss, and that's the end of Arceus. I was expecting, like, I don't know, a Judgment or Extreme Speed, but Blizzard, I didn't expect that. Next Pokemon, also the last Pokemon, is going to be Cresselia. Cresselia lives, and you know what, people? It ate a Citrus Berry again. Man, I'm sick of these damn Citrus Berries. So that's nearly half its health back there. Cresselia's going to go for our Ice Beam. I'm like, don't you dare free sax me. And it did not, and I finished it off with an Echo Voice, but what a funny battle that was. I just thought I'd include that with all the Citrus Berries. Your boy Terrence there was packing that theme team, that full Citrus Berries. I have no idea who that was, by the way. That was another random person on the Poké Portal. Let's get on to battle number 3, another random battle here. I'm not sure of my opponent's name. Maybe we can have a translation there. And we have a Mimikyu lead. Now watch this, right? So I went for Ice Punch, the typical set. Got the free sax on Mimikyu, right? Watch Mimikyu's neck when it goes out of its form. Look, ready? Look at that. So it's I don't know what happened. His neck like broken or something. It's solid as a rock. So when you're like someone else, we're going to go for that Ice Punch. We're hitting that Mimikyu. We're getting these W's here, people. We're getting lots of freezes. So we're going for our Ice Punch. It's a quality, I would say it's a 7-hit KO against Mimikyu. Then, watch this turn. This is BS, right? They got a quick claw. They thawed out. They landed play rough. And then they got a crit all in one turn. That was crazy luck. I don't even know how you would calculate that, but that was crazy luck, like getting all 4 of those things to happen. I also got another free sax at the end of the turn, right? And then they thawed out immediately and went for a Thunder from down under. So I've got no idea what sort of set this was. So they were cooking up some Mimikyu set there. I have no idea, but it was pretty funny. Next Pokemon we got is going to be Serperior, right? So I went for Ice Punch, trying to get that scumbag free sax. It didn't happen, and here comes the Leaf Storm. It's like, all right, here's the standard Serperior set, right? This is going to be very difficult to get around. So I went for Ice Punch again there, and I got a good amount of damage. Then they went for Iron Tail. Like, Iron Tail again? What is going on? I had like all these battles where, I don't know, it's just like a streak of battles where a lot of people used Iron Tail. Like, it's not really a move you get to see very often. So they got that Iron Tail Contra Serperior. They were cooking up some crazy sets. Next Pokemon's going to be my Meloetta, and then they critted me. So like, this is very bad. This thing's fast. It outsped my Meloetta, and it's got +4 in special attack, right? What am I going to do to get out of this? So I swapped in the Meloetta, same speed and everything, and I must have won the speed tide this time, you know? So that's the end of Serperior, and I took it out and got a special attack drop. So Rise. So we're still in the battle right now. Now, the next Pokemon to come out is going to be Beartic. Now, watch this, right? This is cruel. So I went for Hyper Voice. Beartic actually took it, which surprised me, and then it landed Sheer Color. I'm like, oh, come on the first go. So that's the end of my Meloetta. All I've got left is one more Meloetta, and I've got to take out 4 more Pokemon. Things are not looking good here. So we're swapping in Meloetta. We're going for the sub to get that dub right, hoping that Sheer Cold is going to miss, and Sheer Cold misses, which is good. So now what I can do is I can go for the Sing Echoed Voice set. So Sing misses, obviously, and it's going to give me a speed boost of 2, right? I thought I was the speedy Pokemon around here, but Beartic had Blizzard, and they also had Blunder Policy. I'm like, what the heck? So we're both like these speedy troll sets. Also, if you are wondering, with 1-hit KO moves, Blunder Policy isn't affected by that. That's why it didn't kick in the first time. Anyway, so we're going to go for Echo Voice. That's the end of Beartic. We've still got 3 more Pokemon. Now, the next Pokemon is going to be a Greninja. Obviously, we know what this set's going to be. The same one gets passed around like a public toilet seat on the surprise trade. So I'm going to go for the Terra Normal Echoed Voice and see if we can clean up the rest of these Pokemon to get that fat W. Now, Greninja is a pretty fast Pokemon, but I thought if I go Terra Normal, at least I won't be weak to any Dark types. This team was very, very weak to Dark type Pokemon too. I actually managed to outspeed here. I do have Timid Nature on this. I have no idea what their Greninja set was, and that's going to get dropped. That crit absolutely didn't matter at all. Like, this thing is really, really powerful after a couple of Echo Voice, plus, you know, a Terra Normal. Next Pokemon is Rhyperior. Now, Rhyperior is going to be able to resist that. It still takes a lot of damage. Like, oh, it's going to be close, right? The next one's going to do the heap of damage, so it's going to be very close. They went for Stone Edge, and luckily for them, it did land, and obviously that's going to break my sub. Meloetta's defense isn't really all that good. It's more a special defensive Pokemon. So now I can go for Echo Voice, crossing my fingers, and it took it out. I'm like, yes, that's awesome. So that is the end of the Rhyperior. We've got one more Pokemon left on the team, and that Pokemon is Scarlet. Watch this. I had nothing. I was like, bro, I've got nothing to hit them with. I'm cooked, right? So I was like, I'll go for Echo Voice. It was a fun game. You know, GG. There's nothing I could do here. I didn't actually show them my last move, which is Teeter-Dan. So I was like, I wonder if they think I'm going to go for Echo Voice or another move. But then they went for Terra. I'm like, oh, this is going to be really funny, right? If it's not like Terra, like Ghost or something. And they went Terra Fire. I'm like, oh, this is so good, right? Because now Echo Voice is going to land because they're a Fire-type Pokemon. So I outspeed the Scalarge and I dropped it. Man, I would have paid anything to see their face if they knew what my last move was, like knowing I only had Echo Voice. That would be the maximum soul. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that battle. That was such a funny battle. And man, if that didn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. Let's get on to battle number 4, people. I'll take you to my random opponent there. Next battle, this is another random opponent. They got that Sleeping Chansey. Now, first Pokemon is going to be Dragapult here. Dragapult's actually a pretty good Pokemon against this team too. They're going to go for a Thunderbolt. So Meloetta has crazy Natural Bolt. This is my Assault Vest set, so it's going to do nothing. However, this was actually a mix set with Sucker Punch. Like, oh, that's doing a fair bit of damage to me, so I need to make sure I get rid of this soon, right? Good thing is I did have Max Health, and I was able to actually lift that Sucker Punch too. So I'd say Dragapult had like a mixture of EVs there, so it wouldn't have had max attack at all, right? I would say it would have been maybe 100 attack or something like that. Next Pokemon's going to be Archaludon. I really don't want to give this a stamina boost, so I went for Focus Punch in case they set up, like, I don't know, Stealth Rock or something, and then went for Dragon Ball. That's not too bad, but I need to get around this Pokemon. It's quite a counter. So we're going to go into Shiny Meloetta now. This is a Dark Pulse set, and it flinched me, does a lot of damage. Very, very bad, right? Because that's it. I can't do anything. So that's it in a Meloetta. I'm like, man, I think I'm done, right? Like how am I going to get out of this? They've still got, like, a bunch of other Pokemon, like 5 other Pokemon. So I'm swapping in Meloetta number 2 here. I'm going for a Terra. I thought, well, I have to go for Terra Fairy here to resist that Dark move. And then I can hit them with Alluring Voice, and that will increase my special attack. And I should hit them pretty hard because Archaludon is not really known for its great special defense. However, they actually went for a Terra this time too. However, it was Stellar Archaludon. So I'm assuming they're going to go for Dark Pulse Stellar, right, to try and get that that extra boost, right? At least on the very, very first one. So I went first, which is great, and I did very, very good damage. That's quality damage there. So I can easily take them out in the next turn. So I've got that special attack boost. Things are starting to look up a little bit, and then I go for the Dark Pulse. I was like, well, I can live that easy. I'm going second. I'm not going to get flinched. It's good, right? Now, they withdrew Archaludon, and then they swapped into their Kyogre. Now, Kyogre, as you know, has a massive special defensive stat, but I was like, okay, well, if it's a Water Spout one, at least I've got one hit in there, right? Then I outsped it again. I'm like, oh, this is good. Some great damage there. Then they went for the Water Spout. Water Spout is going to be very, very weak since they have, they took so much damage. So taking out the Kyogre was, pretty easy, right? They also had Shell Bell. Then they conserved their Kyogre, swapped it out, and then went into Zapdos. Clearly here, they were trying to get a safe swap into my Meloetta, but they wouldn't. They just simply weren't able to. They obviously had to realize they had to lose a Pokemon there. They weren't going to be able to conserve their little legendaries, right? Next Pokemon's going to be Solgaleo. This is the very, very threatening Pokemon I was worried about. Shadow Ball does impressive damage, but that was the most I could possibly do there. So here comes a Scum Steel Strike, and that's going to take out Meloetta. So I'm like, oh, I've got one left, and you know what set's left, right? It's the Echo Voice set. Echo Voice only. So I'm like, things are going to have to go just right here for me to be able to even stay in this game, right? So obviously I'm going to get outsped because I'm not running any speed EVs at all. I've got max health, and I lived it narrowly, so I was like, that's great. But I need to actually miss this first one, and I did. So I missed the very first one, got my Blunder Positive boost. However, another step had to happen after that too. So I had to land the next thing, and I did. It's like, wow, that's really, really lucky, I missed the first, got the speed boost, land the second, put it to sleep. So it's sleeping. I was like, well, I need 2 Echoed Voices here. to power up for the next Pokemon. And I got them both. I got both Echoed Voices off and took out that Pokemon. So that gives me like 2 stacks on Echoed Voice. If you keep using it, it gets more powerful, right? So that's down. I'm like, okay, this is good, right? Next Pokemon's Archaludon. Now, I watched the damage I did to that Archaludon earlier on, and I was like, nah, it's not going to live it, right? So the third one takes it out. Now they're in a lot of trouble, right? Because Kyogre doesn't have a lot left. And they decide to swap their Pokemon out after they were taking like really big hits. So Meloetta is just cleaning up at the moment. Crit didn't matter, and Kyogre is down. They've got 1 more Pokemon left on their team. No, they got 5. Oh, I got the W there. I thought they had another one left, but how was that clutch, people? That was incredible clutch. Like, for some reason, this Echoed Voice set, this meme set, was doing like really well, right? Next battle, this is battle number 5, and this was against Kamara, I think that's what their name was, and we have a Ninetales lead. So they actually brought 4 Pokemon along, but they had a real dedicated competitive Sun team. So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to go against this team. We'll see, right? So I'm going for Thunder Punch. I'm trying to get some Paralyzed here. They went for Will-O-Wisp. So I decided to swap out Meloetta because its attack was already going to do like nothing anyway. So it seemed like this Ninetales was just setting up the other Pokemon on their team. Now, this is interesting. So, Armoroad comes in here, and it's going to be going for Meteor Beam. So, Meteor Beam, obviously, it's going to have a Power Herb there, and they're going to try and increase their special attack. And I say they have like Armor Cannon and, you know, Psychic and other things like that. But I knew they weren't going to use Psychic. They were going to go for this. So their move actually missed, which was really cool. I didn't take any damage. Then my Sing missed, which allowed me to get that extra speed boost. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let's see if we can get this Echoed Voice set to work again. So I missed with Sing. Then they went for Meteor Beam again. I'm like, oh, okay. They're going to try and boost their special attack even more instead of attacking me with a normal, like, Fire type move. This time, Sing's going to land. So this could be a big, like, problem for them, right? If of course, if they don't wake up. So, Armorogue is sleeping at the moment. I go for my first Echo Voice. It does really good damage. That's just off 1, right? So, clearly judging by the damage they took, they are not running any bulk at all. So, 2 almost takes it out. The Sun's gone, and 3's going to take him out there. So, that's the end of the Armorogue there. So, that was pretty good taking that out. Next Pokemon is Flutter Lame, and I can't do anything with this. I could go Sing, try and put it to sleep, or I could go for like Teeter Dance. Now they're going to go for Mystical Fire. Mystical Fire, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it is going to drop my special attack. So it's more of a nuisance, right? They can't go for Shadow Ball at all against any Pokemon on my team. So I'm assuming they're just going to have Moonblast as their main attacking move. So here it comes. Moonblast doesn't really do too much. It's like probably a 3-hit KO, something like that. Maybe 4 if it's like min damage. And yeah, I'm eating these Moonblasts pretty well. So at this stage, I thought I'm just going to sack off the Echoed Voice there. With this Flutter Mane around, I can't do anything. Like if they didn't have a Flutter Mane there, I would have really pressured them, right? They would have been in a lot of trouble. Actually, I think I would have won them if they didn't have Flutter Mane. Ninetales gets dropped, and their other Pokemon gets dropped as well. And they actually were all special attackers too. There was no physical attackers on their team. So next Pokemon is Meloetta. I'm going to swap into that because I know they may not wake up here, and I might be able to try and set up on this thing. So Meloetta is hopefully going to do some quality damage here, and I actually went for Shadow Ball here, so that's going to drop my special attack again. Unfortunately, they dropped it on the turn I attacked. I was hoping they'd hit themselves, and then I hit them with the Shadow Ball, and that would have probably almost taken them out, but still some good damage there. So Ninetales is going to swap back in here just to set the sun up again for the Flutter Mane and the other Pokemon, which we haven't seen yet, and I just went for Shadow Ball again, right? Ninetales has got some pretty good special defense, plus I've had a drop already from Mystical Fire, so I decide to sack this Meloetta off here. Ninetales has got Weather Ball as its main attacking move there, purely relying on the sun, which is interesting. I wonder if they've got a Fire-type move, too, if their Weather got removed. Anyway, Meloetta's going to come in. I'm going to go for Thunder Punch. Obviously, I'm not doing a lot. I know they're going to go for Will-O-Wisp already. This set was sort of a throwaway set. I couldn't really do a lot of damage to it. And, yeah, I thought maybe I can, take the Ninetales out anyway or, paralyze it or something like that. The other move they had was Encore as well. So, Encore is going to lock me into that move. Now they're going to swap into Venusaur. So, Venusaur is an extremely good Sun Sweeper here. And I'm hoping I can get a Paralyze, That's what I was hoping, because with the Chlorophyll ability, it's going to be, its speed is going to be double, plus they can get a free growth off there in the sun too. So essentially giving them a +2 in special attack. So now they're going to use Sludge Bomb. It's doing lots of damage there. Meloetta does have a big special defense stat. That's the only reason I'm, kind of living that. And Assault Vest, and they've got Giga Drain too. So I'm like, boy, this is This might be a little bit too much for this team. Well, I'm going to see if I can try and hang in here and take out some more Pokemon, right? So the sun's gone, which is good. I managed to stall that out. And we're going to bring in the next Meloetta. Now, I knew they wouldn't be inclined to keep Venusaur in because they're going to get outsped. So they swapped in their Ninetales here to reset the sun up. Pretty much Venusaur and Flutter main were their only hope of, being able to even stay into this battle, right? So I went for a Terra this turn, which is Terra Psychic. Now, I did this because I thought it was going to be a good idea to go for Zen Headbutt. But the problem was, if I went for Relic Song, that Venusaur would hit me a lot harder, right? Because when you go from a normal Meloetta, you have 128 special defense. But if you go to Pirouette form, you suddenly drop to 77 base, and it's not that good, right? It doesn't take hits very, very well. So I needed to stay into this form for a little bit. The problem is my attack wasn't really a lot either, so I was only using my base 77 attack, so it was like a catch-22, right? So in comes the Flutter Lane. I'm going to swap out here because obviously they're going to go for an obvious Shadow Ball. We're going to swap into Meloetta. We're going to burn up a turn of the sun there, so perfect play. Now, basically what I can do is I can attack them here and just feint this Flutter Mane. I know I'm going to take heavy damage, but I've got that Shadow Ball, and they didn't go for Mystical Fire, so that's the end of Flutter Mane. It could have been bad there if Moonblast dropped my special attack, but unfortunately, they didn't get that lucky. So, next Pokemon is the Venusaur. They can go for Sludge Bomb here and outspeed me. All I've got left now is my physical Meloetta, which would have been good if I had the other form, but I was like, at this stage, Sludge Bomb definitely would have killed me in Pirouette form. So, I went for Ice Punch Freeze Hacks, and it didn't happen. So that's the best I could have done in that situation there. I was like, should I go for Zen Headbutt? There's no point, right? Because it wouldn't have fainted it. And if I was going to go first, I would have gone for that. But anyway, very close battle with a very competitive Sun team. They're barely scraping the win. Let's get on to battle number 6. This is a battle against Juan, I'm not sure how to say that. This is a random battle, and they've got a Morpeko lead. So I went for Ice Punch to get my usual freeze, or try for the usual freeze hacks. And this Pokemon was actually pretty good against my team. Now, interestingly enough, they didn't use Aura Wheel. They used Crunch. I was like, that's odd. I wonder why they use Crunch over Aura Wheel for, because as you know, if you don't know, Aura Wheel has 2 types of attacks. So when it's in its Hangry mode like that, it's a Dark type move. When it's in its non-Hangry mode, it's an Electric type move. So yeah, I don't know why they crunch. Like, I have no idea. Maybe they're like, oh, I want to be able to use an electric and a dark type move at all times, but then you could put Protect on your set. Anyway, I don't know. I was just thinking about that, why you would do that. So we're going to go for a Terra Fairy Meloetta here. I thought this is definitely a good Terra here for my team. They would all take big damage from Crunch, right? So I had to do something here. I only had 4 Pokemon. So go for Alluring Voice. That's easily going to take more Morpeko out. It's not a very bulky Pokemon. So that's good. Free special attack boost there. And now I'm going to try and do as much damage with this Meloetta as possible for a feint. Next Pokemon's Annihilate. I was like, well, unless they outspeed me, unless it's like Choice Scarf, I think I've got them. And, they're going to get dropped. So that's good, Next Pokemon is Arcanine. I thought, well, I could go for Hyper Voice. It will probably just live. And it only just lived. And then he uses Flamethrower. I'm like, oh, it's a special set. So I thought maybe like Flare Blitz then followed up with Extreme Speed or something like that. But, it was a special Arcanine. Maybe it was a mixed one. I have no idea, but I'd say it's fully special. So that's the end of Arcanine. In comes Vileplume. Vileplume's going to get dropped by a Psychic. So Meloetta is actually sweeping this team at the moment. So that's what, 4 Pokemon down. Next Pokemon's going to... Why does that Kingdra look so... Does it look small to you? I don't know. That Kingdra kind of looks a bit small. But anyway, it's going to get dropped by Alluring Voice. I don't think that one mattered. Let's be real. I don't think that one mattered. Next Pokemon's going to be Sandslash Alola. And now they're going to go for a Terra here. So we've got 5 Pokemon down, and we're going to try and get our Meloetta sweep. I've already got a sweep with this set already, but I was really trying to get the second one. Now, since it is an Ice type, it's no longer Steel. That's not going to resist my moves. I wish I went for a Alluring Voice there, but I went for Shadow Ball because that was a pretty solid move to go for there. However, it's not going to take out Sandslash. Its special defense is really, really bad, but, not that bad. So, Ice Spinner with Terra Ice is most definitely going to take out Meloetta. I'd say from full health that would have taken out. So, I got very close there. Next Pokemon is Meloetta. This is the Echoed Voice Sing set. I actually don't know why I went for Sing here instead of going for... oh wait, no, I went for that because I thought, I'm going to get outsped, but I didn't get outsped, so they must have been building bulk and attack on their Sandslash. So I went for Teeter Dance, put it to sleep. Now, it actually woke up there and it was confused, right? But it hit itself in confusion and did a little bit of damage to itself, and then I just followed up with Echo Voice, and I got the W there. So that is the end of that battle. Unfortunately, I did not get the full Meloetta sweep. I got pretty close there, pretty close. If only I went for a Luring Voice, on that Sandslash, but I wasn't to know if they were going to go for a Terra Steel or something. Next battle, also the last battle. I have no idea who this whose trainer name is, but they've got a Arceus Water Lead. They're trying to bring them legendaries, right? Their whole team was legendary, by the way. So they're going to go for a little judgment here, and that judgment is going to do donkeys. We got that Assault Vest Meloetta. Then they swapped out the Arceus, and they went into Koraidon. So I had Ice Punch for Koraidon, and that was about it, right? There wasn't a lot I could do to it. So I went for Thunder Punch, hoping for a Paralysis, and I got it. I was like, cool, I actually got a Paralysis that time. I found I got a lot more freezes than Paralysis. So I actually outsped it thanks to the Paralysis, and I went for Ice Punch. I was really trying to get some damage here. Koraidon's going to go for his signature move, and I just lived that. Very, very close there, thanks to my, max health, right? So I'm getting some great damage on Koraidon here, and then they had close combat. So, interesting they've got both Collision Course and close combat. I guess, I don't know, maybe they wanted one with a bit more power and they wanted one with a little bit less power but didn't have the negative drops of close combat. I have no idea, right? Anyway, we're going to go into normal Meloetta. I'm going to go for a Relic Song here. I'm hoping I can take it out. And he lived on 1 health. Like, come on. So I transformed into the Pirouette form. Like, oh, this is going to hurt, right? This is really, really going to hurt because this is normal and fighting. So fighting becomes super effective and they got a crit on top of that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not living that. So that's the end of Meloetta. So, unfortunately, not getting the greatest luck here, apart from that Paralysis. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep trying, right? So, I'm going into the Echoed Voice one. I'm like, okay, this could work, right? So, we've taken out the Koraidon with the Echoed Voice, which is a good start there. Now, the sun's gone. Next Pokemon to come in is going to be Miraidon. Now, I was completely countered here. I couldn't go for Sing due to the electric terrain, preventing Pokemon from going to sleep. Like, this is bad. I'm just going to have to attack, right? So they went for the Electro Drift. Good damage there. I managed to take that fairly well, and then they went for Echoed Voice. It did really good damage. So, like, that's pretty good. Then they went for a Dazzling Gleam. Like, Dazzling Gleam's not going to faint me. And it didn't. It only did a bit of damage. And then my third Echoed Voice took them out, the Miraidon out, and then they baby bottled. And that's the end of the battle. Hope you enjoyed it, people. Peace out.